So tell me a little bit about your culinary experience.
My name is Ronit and I'm a candy maker and a cookbook author. I used to be a journalist for 12 years. I worked at the television and I used to be a writer in the economic newspapers. And I always love to bake and to make little pâtes fours, especially candies, because I like French dessert culture. And I wanted to make a change in my life, and I decided to learn the candy making section. And there was no course or no one who would teach me, so I ordered in Amazon lots of books about confection making. They were all in French, so I used to translate them from Google Translate and make a lot of experience at home, and I burnt a lot of sugar until I made it. I started to sell my candies in the farmer's market in Jaffa and Herzliya. And after 3 years of candy making, I thought of making a book in Hebrew that would teach the candy making, the secrets behind candy making, because the big magic about candy making is that from sugar, water and glucose you can make magic, because it's really magic. You can make candies, you can make pâtes fouettes, which is the marmalade, what we know, with caramel candies and nougat, and everything you can buy in the supermarket, you can make at home. It's very easy to make, although it looks very difficult, it's very easy. And it has the advantage of making candies at home is that you have less sugar in the candies than you have in the candies that you buy. I make candies today and I teach how to make candies, and now I want to translate my book to English, and I'm writing another book for kids. We're making hard lollipops.
Ooh.
And we're making candied apple. So,
our favorite.
Yeah, so we're gonna start with the caramels.
So now we're just putting regular sugar?
Yeah, and we're heating it up. So now I'm melting the sugar and I'm making a dry caramel. A dry caramel is a caramel that is based only on sugar, no water. That's because I'm making the candy caramels. I don't want them to have any hydration. So this is where I'm adding the cream, and now I'm mixing between the fats and the sugars, and that's what makes the smell of the caramel. We're making candy caramels. I know that it's ready when the bubbles are very wide, and I can see there is no difference between the fat and the sugar, and it's all one mixing. Now I'm putting it to set for a few hours. One of the most important things about making candies is it's not like a cake that you put in the oven and when you take it out it's okay and it's ready to eat. Patience is one of the most important ingredients in candy making, and you have to wait. You have to let the sugars and everything to set together, because what we're making in candy making is that we're heating the sugar, we're breaking the sugar, and we're putting it back in the way we want. So here we're making candy caramel.
And that's all the work?
That's all the work. Now I'm putting the caramel to set for a few hours. It will be harder, but it will be chewy. It's a chewy candy. Would you like to taste? Making candies is when you break the molecule of the sugar by heating it, and then you're putting it together in what for the candy that you want to make. During the heat, all the hydration goes out from the syrup, and then the sugar concentration also goes up, and then you have the hard candy. So you have to be a scientist here to understand. A little bit of science. It's not really hard. You can see that this is candy making. So Adina, we're making the caramelized apple. Yeah, we're sticking the stick inside the apple.
So how do you know that it's reaching the temperature?
Well, usually a candy maker has a temperature
to tell you how much.
Yeah, but you can see in the sugar, you can see the bubbling, and you can see the color. It starts to be a little bit brown on the sides, and then you know that it's ready.
And then once it's ready,
we are adding the coloring, the food coloring. Yeah. Although it's red, we want to much more. We want it like Snow White.
Oh.
So
I'm gonna go to sleep after.
Yeah. So now I'm adding the food coloring.
Jo, ist ja fizzelig, va?
Now for the lollipops, we have to get the sticks.
Okay.
So you can put them in the mold like this until the middle.
Till the middle.
So now I'm pouring the hot syrup through the molds and we'll let them set. This one is a very easy candy, and here you don't need to have so much patience as you need to have in the caramels, because it will set in about a few minutes. And for the meantime, you can decorate the candies with sprinkles. So I did the lollipops already, and we're taking it out, and so we're pushing the mold from down and pushing the stick here, and we're ready.
Ooh, wow, this is gorgeous.
Yeah, this is really cool.
So how long did that take us? I mean, how long did we wait for our lollipops?
It took about 10 minutes.
10 minutes, you need to let it dry out?
To let it dry out, maybe a quarter of an hour.
Wow.
And that's it, because that's the easiest one.
So look at my lovely lollipop bouquet over here. Everything is ready. We have our lollipops, our caramelized apple, our caramel, and of course, our candies. Thank you, Ronit. I had so much fun.
Yeah, and will you make candies at home?
Of course.
I hope so.
Yeah, and I'll invite you over.
Great, wonderful.